Today we're gonna talk about why I'm actually saving money and making a little money by retiring early and traveling and living overseas full time. First things first, I'm gonna grab a little bite to eat here and then we'll sit down and talk. I wanted to say hello, and we are out at a nice park here. There is a little bit of traffic noise from behind me, but I don't think it's too bad. My hope is that this small microphone will pick up my voice a little more than the street behind me. We will see if that works or not, okay? But I wanted to talk a little bit about finances. And I wanted to tell you exactly how traveling has affected my finances. Not so much discussing how I afford to go. That I'll do in a later video. But I want you to imagine a hypothetical situation that'll hopefully put this into perspective for you as to why it is financially beneficial for me to travel, as crazy as that might sound. In my home state of Hawaii, probably one of the most expensive places you can possibly live anywhere in the world, I want you to imagine somebody that makes six figures, say 100 grand. Say they're a professional. Say they work in a good field and they make good money. After they pay federal and state taxes, they are lucky if they have half of that left. So now you have $50,000 in take-home pay. You might say to yourself, hey, that's sweet. $50,000 in take-home pay, that's pretty good. But in reality, if you're paying a mortgage or rent in the United States, that $50,000, you can pretty much kiss that goodbye. That's gone. All right? If you're making payments on a car, and I don't just mean new car payments. Say you bought a used car. Say your car is paid off and you're just paying insurance and gasoline and registration and safety inspection and basic maintenance. Now, where's that coming from? Well, maybe if you have some sort of very affordable housing, maybe you have enough to cover that car. What about medical insurance? Medical insurance in the United States is $600 a month for an individual. All right, let's say your company pays that. Phew, right? Okay, good. Let's say that's rare, but it happens, okay? Now you're trying to pay for food. Good luck. You don't have it. Let's say you're trying to pay for children and all their food and their needs. You don't have it, okay? And all of a sudden, that six-figure job that you have that is supposedly the dream to get you through living in the United States, you are going into debt every year, okay? That is the reality of the situation. And it's not just in Hawaii, it's pretty much across the United States. Now, there are some places you can live where you can start whittling back on your cost of living. But I'll tell you what's more common. What's more common is not whittling back the cost of living and actually making less than $100,000. The average man, I believe, is making about $50,000 a year, working full-time in the United States. It's about half of our scenario. Think about that. That includes in Hawaii as well. By traveling overseas, I worked several years as a contractor overseas. I was able to alleviate myself of some of my costs and be able to save up money and invest so that I would have some sort of retirement income. Just so you know, I don't suggest, there's people that think that Social Security is going to be around in 10 years. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. So I'm not planning on it. I'm planning on my own retirement, okay? But by traveling overseas now in my retirement, I have cut my cost of living considerably. Let's talk about how much. My cost of housing, now that I'm overseas, is about 1/8 of what it cost me to live in the United States. My cost of food is about 1/3. Now you can cut it even more than that, but as I've shown in some of my videos, I like to eat healthy. Yes, I'll go to the street carts and buy something for 75 cents or $1. I will, but you know, I generally like to eat healthy, so I like to have healthy foods in my hotel, and also I like to buy healthy foods out. So my cost of living on food is maybe a little higher than what the average expat might be paying. So it's still about 1/3 of my food cost in the United States. I pay cash for health care, which is a fraction of the cost of just paying insurance in the United States, all right? I've completely changed my financial picture. So you take away this job and you say, well, how are you going to survive? But in actuality, you end up every month with more money than ever, just living off of your investments that you made for retirement. That's really something. Working a full-time job, making much more, and actually going into debt every year in the United States. Retiring, investing your money so that you can retire early, and traveling overseas and making more money per month. And the key was that time period in between when I left the United States, so I didn't have any lodging costs, and I was able to put that all into retirement for several years. And inside the United States, you would almost have to live in a van or live in a vehicle to do that, or live at home, okay? Live at home, maybe have 2 roommates, whatever you had to do, but it can be done. For me, it worked well to go overseas. But that's the reality. The reality for me is that it is not only cheaper to live abroad, but I have money left over at the end of the month, which I never did working in the States. I was always broke at the end of the month and tapping into credit cards. And now at the end of the month, I have money left over. I'm actually able to log on, maybe find a stock or two that might be, hurting that month, so maybe I buy a share or two of a stock. That's a good feeling. It's almost like as I go through my retirement, I'm still kind of building my retirement. And that's made possible by traveling overseas. That's a hypothetical situation. And that's really what is going on here. I wanted to kind of pass that by you and see what you think. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think, what you're dealing with. What kind of situation are you dealing with? Is the idea of taking what you have, investing it, and then traveling overseas viable for you? Is it something that you could be viable in 5 years? Could you do that? And I'm telling you, financially, it's beneficial on the other end. All right, we'll talk again soon. And I wish you all the best. Aloha.